We got to start booking some like A-list celebs on this pod.
Well, who are the celebrities that live in St. Louis?
You know, you got your Johnny Hams.
Yeah, Hambone. He comes through every now and then.
Yeah.
Nikki Glazer lives here.
Yeah. What's her name? Pam from The Office.
Yeah. It's probably not a good start that we don't even know her real name.
We're not going to book her. I'm really curious because we didn't see it together, so I haven't really had the opportunity to talk to you about Oppenheimer. I've kind of pieced together some impressions from your conversations with other people.
Yeah.
My guess is you're not as high on the film as I am.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear just your general take impression.
And I don't think that this is going to be like crazy to say. Maybe it will, but I thought, of course, it's a very, very good movie. Like, from performances to casting to cinematography, the making of the film, like the writing,
craft services.
I really enjoy. Like I must say, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. And that being said, there weren't any like insane like things he was doing with the camera or the story, or like it's based off of a book about the real person. So like he's making a movie that's based off of a biography. So
you liked it as much as you could like a historical drama about a physicist that you naturally weren't that interested in to begin with.
Yes, thank you. That was distilled very nicely. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. This is one of those movies for me where the whole of it, when I can reflect on it as like, you know, a full 3-hour epic, I love it. There are parts of the movie that I'm kind of with you, where like, especially the first half of the movie, I remember watching it going like, wow, like these scenes with his love interests, you know, with Florence Pugh, and then with eventually the woman he marries. I'm like, I don't know who, like the scenes are so quick and like they're skipping so much time. I don't know what these people want, like who they are really. They're kind of just like these cursory characters in his life, which, you know,
how did they get to this point already where they're like spending all this time together, but they're married?
There are these really quick scenes with Oppenheimer and these women or other people where like they're having like drama, but like I feel left out, whereas I'm like, wait, why is this other person mad at Oppenheimer? And it's going so fast. And I was like, I don't know how I'm liking this storytelling. But then once it gets to like the middle of the film and the latter half, and then you kind of revisit some scenes and see scenes from different perspectives, I started to get in tune with the structure of what the film really is, which is it's not a, you know, birth to death biography of Oppenheimer. It's his life as told through a trial, not only like a literal trial, which was in the movie, like the depositions he was in, and then the hearing that Strauss was in, but a moral trial for himself.
Yeah.
And so when I thought about the film in that structure, which is no, the point of those scenes isn't to like really dive into the humans or the humanity of those characters and give both sides. Like, no. This is Oppenheimer's own guilty conscience revisiting these scenes.
Yeah.
And those scenes had impact later in the film.
Yeah.
When you see what his character, like his weaknesses as a person, what that leads to. Yeah. So when he's having issues with Florence Pugh, you're like, oh, that was to show how uncommitted he is as a person. He is unable to commit to anything. He loves to theorize, but he doesn't like to commit.
Well, and we talked a little bit about like how it was paced as well, which I think, other than maybe Cillian Murphy's performance, was the star of the show. Yeah. Because the way it built and released tension, I thought was amazing. And in that deposition scene, it's so electric. Like you can feel it, the way that it's moving back and forth between like memories and the deposition and like what's happening in the room kind of in his head. Yeah. It's intense.
The editing and the score worked so well together.
Yeah, man. I feel like that is what really built and released the tension in the movie. And it made it feel like, to me at least, that it wasn't a 3-hour epic movie. The first time I kind of thought, oh, how long are we into this movie? It was like there were only 30 minutes left.
But yeah, I loved it. And thematically, I think it's one of those movies that is just so laser focused on what it's trying to say. And it's almost a little heavy handed, but I think in a good way, because it is such a long movie. You don't want the audience to lose track of what you're actually trying to get at. So like from the very beginning, one of my favorite scenes is when he poisons the apple. And there's actually a lot of symbolic weight to that, because here's a guy whose whole life is about pursuing knowledge for the sake of pursuing knowledge, with no regard to the actual ramifications of that knowledge. And to see at the very beginning of the film, here's a guy who is so careless about his pursuit of knowledge that he's willing to poison an apple that his teacher could eat. Because he was denied that knowledge, because he couldn't hear Niels Bohr's lecture or something. And I thought that really just teed up the whole movie. It's like, oh, this is who this guy is. Right. It's like he wants knowledge, and he doesn't care what the ramifications
consequences
are, or what the consequences are.
Well, and he does that with his whole life.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, kind of in that deposition scene, you see all those consequences kind of coming to a head in that moment.
Speaking of that, I don't want to end this without talking about my favorite scene, but right after the bomb goes off and he goes into that auditorium with the people in the stands, and he's finally realizing the weight of what they just created, and he's having that vision of the crowd in front of him being eviscerated by the bomb. And it's one of the most harrowing scenes I've seen in the theater in recent memory. And it's just, you feel gross, and it works so well because the movie does such a great job making you feel the excitement of the discovery. Like you're in the room with the scientists and they're talking about it and they're telling you how hard of a challenge this actually is. So part of you, even though you know history and you know it's terrible, but part of you is like, oh yeah, are they going to make it? Can they do it?
Come on, can you do it? Yeah.
And then to release that tension of can they do it, not with, oh, they did it, because you get that a little bit, but then immediately after that, you go into that room, into that scene, and you have that vision. It just is like, oh, what a masterful play by Nolan to make the biggest moment of the film not the bomb going off. The biggest moment of the film is Oppenheimer realizing what that means and having that vision.
Yeah. Well, and just that idea and theme carrying through of we're cheering on basically our own destruction.
Yeah.
Potentially. Like we're cheering and shouting and celebrating while we're being eviscerated, basically.
With all that being said, you know the drill. Patreon, subscribe, like, share, comment. Let us know what you thought about Oppenheimer. Did you like it more than Barbie? Did you like Barbie more? Let us know. We'd love to hear. And if you know any A-list celebrities, hook us up.
Oh, yeah. Throw them our way, guys.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
All right.